Alright, welcome back to another video of WorldBox Nation Battle Royale. And what I have for you guys today is a map of Antarctica. That's right, the frozen continent. And I put down all the kingdoms here. So the race for Antarctica is now on. But, you know, what happens here? Why are there only 6 kingdoms? Where are the goblins? Well, as you can see from this ruin, the goblin didn't survive. So here's the thing. The goblin cannot build their own farm, they cannot sustain themselves, and the map of Antarctica relies pretty much on the fact that kingdom has to survive in this frozen wasteland of absolute nothingness. And the goblin are not fit for survival in Antarctica, it seems. They only they rely a lot on foraging, and there aren't much to forage here, even when, you know, we have fictional trees that's kind of growing about. Alright, so about the kingdoms, we have the elves over here, Amifera Earth, still kind of developing, suddenly have a shipping dock, like a fishing village kind of deal. We have the orcs, who are still trying to build their town hall. We have the human from, of course, Orc. The human from Edir, who is also doing pretty well. And the dwarfs they're kind of slow, honestly, but you know, they might be able to pick up the pace back in like, you know, the future. We have Spear of Sione, the lizard. We have Vach Erim Mountains. And yeah, all are doing pretty good considering, you know, the geography here of this map. Although that could change very quickly as well, you can look at this. The entire area over here will probably melt soon enough, as the people just gotta like walk over onto the ice, and they're gonna break the ice later. So this area gonna melt, this area gonna melt. The elves will probably not have too much of a problem, considering they have the weightless trait. Even ice won't break under it. But, you know, other races will probably have to deal with the constantly changing environment underneath their feet. And the dwarves are in a particularly difficult spot, as these are like frozen sand. So the sand will probably not gonna support much of anything. Not even trees. Not even pine trees. So, yeah. Let's put on all of the normal world laws. And we are in the year of 57 right now, so 1057 will be the endpoint. So let's see, start the game. Which kingdom will thrive, which one survives, and you know, which one will be the oldest surviving kingdom. And of course, because we have the, you know, multiple races just kind of like compete against each other, let's see which one is like the dominant one this time. Last time I believe the dwarf did pretty well. Or not, I don't know. Turn off sonic speed to I would like to observe the early days of the kingdoms a lot more closely. Okay, so the effect of the ice breaking underneath the feet of the people here are already present. I can see a guy had just kind of dropped dead for no apparent reason. Seems that the lizard here have decided that they want to expand a little bit into the core of Antarctica, the same with the hive. Although you can see here the territory is getting more and more fragmented, as you know, these places are not very well connected anymore, as more and more of the ice bridge just kind of like collapse. The elves does not have that kind of problem. At least they will not have that kind of problem for a while, because animals will still break the ice, I believe, and of course invading armies. Orcs are still kind of like struggling a little bit here because they don't have a stable way to generate food, I believe. No fishing can do that, so they might want to do something. Oh, they already built a farm. Okay. And this area will probably be able to develop a fishing village. The human are expanding. Music is loud, so I'm gonna lower that a little bit. In the future, not the future of IRL, but in the future of this map, the ice is gonna break even more, and it's gonna open a lot more waterway. And some of the waterway, like this area, will probably be unusable because of the ice kind of like breaking. Also, this polar bear is definitely contributing to that problem. So yeah, a lot of the current ports that are not only this port that I've seen now will probably be abandoned due to the fact that it was built on top of ice. Same with this one. This guy will probably have to find a different way to go out to the ocean. Although they do have farms, so that's good. Dwarves had built a farm on top of the sand here. They also have a fishing village to sustain that village population. Here we can see the human from Etier hard at work, tilling their farm in the frozen land of Antarctica. Something. See, the natural documentary voice is kind of developing into something of its own kind, huh? Anyway, I don't know if they can actually build like farmland on top of ice, but yeah, good luck with that. Terrible place to place a farm, though. I mean, there are like a lot of places over here, and then they just choose the most obnoxious area. This farm is destroyed because of the well, it's not destroyed anymore, but I think it's incorporated into a different territory. Yeah, the village of Urkdis have taken over this windmill, although they aren't really using it for anything other than, decorative. These guys have already built a new farm zone, so... Hey look, a war! Seems that the human and the orcs are not very friendly with each other, and the fact that they have come in contact this early... Oh my god, look at this, the entire ice shelf over here has melted away, and the orcs will probably find themselves on an island very soon. Seems that the human was able to destroy the orc settlement, and the orc settlement have pretty much been yeah, cut off from the heartland here, the original homeland of the orcs, because of precisely the problem of ice melting. Same thing might happen to the elves as they progress further into the core of the continent. It seems that we have another kingdom here just appeared, Rocky Geril, from the Hive. Interesting. The Spear of Sion is attacking the Romir mines now, and yeah, the dwarves are already on a back foot, so they are not doing good here. These guys are all warriors and babies. They can't actually build a farm to support themselves, so that is kind of a detrimental move for the dwarves here. And the current territory does not house any woods. So if they do not try to harvest woods from this area over here, they will probably all starve to death, because they won't be able to build a farm, nor they will be able to do pretty much of anything else. Come on, build like a freaking... Just go over here and like claim these woods, these trees. Idiots. Human are doing pretty well. It seems that elves have made a colony over here, very close to human. The hive are just completely breaking apart. We have Mogao Kingdom in the middle. We have Rocky Girls kind of like migrated over here. Spear of Seon seems to be suffering from damage by invasion from the hive of Vakari Mountains. Seems the Vakari Mountain have made a nice ship over here. Same with the elves. As an orc, for them, ship would probably be the best kind of like technology they can get. But so far they haven't researched it yet. Although they have definitely secure that gunpowder tech. The Spear of Sion is currently not doing very well with all of the invasion from Valkyrie Mountains. Whose ship is this? Oh, it's from the elves, I believe. Yeah, the elves are also kind of like doing some expanding. No, not really. They are attacking the human, but why won't you just like drop them here? Okay, well, whatever. Their choice. Who's this? Whose ship is this? Oh, it's Valkyrie Mountains, okay. Somehow the human have yet to even build those ships in... Oh, hey! The dwarf finally made it all the way up here, so... They are capable of actually thinking. Believe it or not, they have built a farm, okay. So the starvation problem might be solved. They're still starving, not gonna lie, but the fact that they have actually kind of like creep up to this patch of trees over here does give me some hope. Although guiding back to this area might take some time. Okay, how? Let's see the town. How's the status? Tax is yearly gain is absolute fucking sucks. Death down to it's now 15. Village age 60, but not starving anymore, so that's good. You guys need to build like a mine. The elf have sort of like neglect the central territory over here, and yeah, that's got destroyed real quick. I mean, honestly though, they are kind of like being contained here in this area as the ice kind of melt even more. Orcs are now into the naval technology. Who is this? Who is this man? I know. He's from the human kingdom of Edia. Somehow he has been stranded on that island. Oh my god, look at this. An elven army is currently raiding the capital of it here. Kind of push the human down a little bit here. Not for long. Already incorporated back to farm up here. Okay, so it seems that the human have kind of been able to pretty much take control over this area of the map. Huh. Farm. This farm actually, like when they are destroyed, they kind of like return the original tile Neat, but without the frozen stuff. So that sand is now not frozen anymore. Yeah. Are the people here capable of like reusing the farm, or would they just like build new farm? Oh. Man, the elves are like not really. They don't really like the lizard very much. This colony here is being attacked by the lizard. Fair enough. Elves have also split up into two factions of that Amifera of Earth and Naemua. I don't know. Hey, but it seems that these guys are kind of like pretty good at like building ports. They don't build port onto the ice itself. They only build it onto the land. So that's some insight. Elves are once again trying to settle onto the central area of the map here. Somehow something terrible have happened to the dwarfs. Oh, it's orcs. The orc have raided them. Okay, well it seems that we probably won't see any more dwarfs in this in the game. No, in the current, you know, game. Yep, that village got burnt. Man, this farm really like getting kind of get pushed back down here, huh? Okay, Amifera of Earth has completely been defeated by the other faction of Naemua. So there's that. Oh, they have kind of like industrialized a little bit. Probably see some gun in the future. Ancient Akum is now the sole faction of the Hive. Very interesting development we have here. Okay, so here's one thing that I kind of wonder. I do remember that the elves have the ability to make the non-green, like land, like soil, into like green, like into like grass. So somehow I think when they die on the ground, it kind of turns it into like grass. So we might see some green patches here and there. Oh man, this northern area is like kind of in ruin. But like it's not being incorporated into the lizard area. The hive split up once again. Spears of Gil Amaur has appeared. Oh hey, some farmers working on their newfound territory. Ancient Akum down to 8 people. Oh hey, they are trying to build a port here. Once again, building a port in like a freaking ice shelf that break apart. So kinda stunted the growth of this village if it does not get destroyed. Oh, see, where's the rest of the dwarfs? With these orcs here who just kind of like harass anything that is like you know, appears on the dwarven land. Still can't kill the last 3 people. Probably because they are over here. Not sure what these guys are doing, but that was the last dwarf. The last dwarf alive. Yeah, and he's starving. Bo Oboa. Gonna put you at my favorite, and then we're gonna see you die on the screen. Well, the letter of you know, your favorite something something died. It's not that I'm gonna like follow him. Wait, what? What is this? What? What are you doing here? Are you the kingdoms of the orcs? Okaka. What are you doing in like Hive land? The orcs are still kind of like determined on like just destroying the dwarves, even though the dwarf would probably just die if they just kind of leave them alone, because they only have 2 people left, and that's like, you know, not enough. Now, why did I say not enough? Because a unit in game, like a person in game, is like they can only have one role, I think, or at least should only have one role. Like if they are king, they cannot. I don't think they can build or like farm. And when they are farmer, they can do the farming stuff. So when a kingdom kind of like lost most of their population, only leaving the warriors and the ruler, then that kingdom will probably will never survive, unless, you know, if all those people are immortal. Then you know, once that person kind of dies, or so, for some reason, then that kingdom die with them. Like those warriors, those rulers, they cannot build anything, so so like the chance of like the kingdom kind of like going back up in terms of population is none. They also cannot build any of the farm stuff, so that's that. Okay, so let's put it on to the sonic speed now. Okay. Alright, we can see a lot of interesting development here as the human kind of like take over the old dwarfs area, and they are attacking the Spear of Sione, who is also trying to take over that same place. Spear of Gil Amor still kind of like having a large territory, but a relatively small population, and they have split off now. Our Sio. The orcs are a small population and yet harasses a lot of other kingdom, and the human have kind of like lost that battle against the lizard here, and they're left down to 4 people, and none, nada, no more human. Okay, you can see here, this is grass. It is the result of an elf kind of like dies on top of like an empty land kind of tile. Okay, so it looks to me that the elves are doing relatively good compared to the other races. And yeah. Although most of the territory here are kind of like set on ice, so these kind of ports are also already kind of like unusable now, so most of these ships will probably have to dock over here, and they might have to build some new ports soon. The elves are attacking onto the lizard now, and these are the 2 largest kingdoms here, so we might expect some kind of like great changes. Perhaps the lizard, who are definitely lower on the technology side, might receive a blow and become severely weakened. But we can see here that the lizard are actually kind of like doing pretty well against the elves. Oh, they are attacking, they're harassing the elves now. It seems that the lizard are actually kind of like badass. they've kind of like managed to destroy a lot of kingdoms that have better technology than them. Okay, the elves managed to survive, but severely weakened. The orc have kind of like make their way into the continent here. And the Hive will probably have to say... They'll have to say goodbye now because being attacked by two of the aggressive... The orcs and the lizard here. Yeah, they're not gonna survive. Yep. The Hive has been eradicated. Now it's only 3 race. The elves, the orc, and lizards. Oh, this guy had made a barracks. Now the orc might have a little, only a little bit of a population. Only a little population compared to the lizard here, but they do have the regeneration stat. I mean the regeneration trait to actually help them in battle, and of course the resiliency technology too. So that is kind of like something to account for. Also, the orcs are, even though they have kind of like dealt a massive blow onto the lizard here with the destruction of the village here, the orcs are kind of like being beaten back by the lizard. Oh, not just the lizard, but also the elves. The elves have been kind of aggressive again. Yeah. Orcs are now down to 33 people. They're still making move into the mainland, but I don't know. Attacking between the orcs and the elves here are definitely creating some space for Spear of Sione to like move in. Oh no, the orcs have lost yet another village. Down to 2 villages. One is the island and one on the island and one in the... Well, no more on the mainland. Last island, and the orc survive. Who knows? I don't think so. The elves have already kind of like made their way into the island here and start to slaughter the rest of the people. Yeah, down to 3 people now. So, and they're dead. Okay, so this is like we're entering the 2-way war now. How are you guys so good at like not breaking apart? Who's the king? Immortal Ihono? I guess being immortal does give you a lot of advantage that you can kind of like raise your skill over and over. How about culture? Culture conversion, culture spread, governance 2, governance 3. Oh, so they are pretty much building an empire. How about you guys? Governance 3 also. So, you know, 2 big empire kind of like goes against each other here. See who is gonna be the... Okay. Good. I mean, not good for the lizard, but good for the elves. The development here of, you know, civil war between the lizard have kind of like make it a little bit easier for the elves to actually move in while the lizard are distracted, and the population drops due to the war. So yeah, easy picking for the elves. Spear of Sione down to the last village. Wow, that is a village? That's livable or land? Okay, never mind. Okay, well, pretty much still a war between the lizard and the elves. That's the faction that's changed though. The Lidoera is currently the only lizard faction. So that's that. Interesting. I don't know if the lizard can win here, but they have surely managed to keep the elves at bay. Actually, you know, the lizard are actually pretty good at warfare, coming to kind of destroying like a larger empire with vastly superior population. But yeah, the fact that population difference is like so severe, I don't think the lizard can survive. I mean, this guy can just throw more people at like the war. And of course they do have superior firepower. So yeah, it's pretty much an elven victory here. Lidovera finally conquers the entire continent. I mean, not Lidovera, but Naemua, the elves. One problem though. Will the elf be able to, you know, becoming an... Okay, never mind. They have just broke apart. Now, would Naemura be able to survive until the last year of the 1000 year thingy? Or would they just like lose some kind of like civil war? Who knows? Okay, new villages are being built. I'm kind of excited what they will do on this frozen desert here. Some of the areas are not being developed into, like this place. Although the village here might be able to get, you know, move closer to that. Uh-oh. Another civil war. Ancient Una. Oh, okay, never mind. Ancient Una just kind of like not kind of. Well, thank you for expanding over that area, but we'll take that village now. Thank you. Nauk Idore has appeared and seems to be reigning over the desert. Interesting how they actually kind of like managed to build a port here in the river that have just kind of like opened up. Spears of Omierat. I don't know who's like... Okay. Wow, 16 out of 8. Who's the king? Anne. What? No. How the... Stewardship is only 6. How are you capable of like taking control over 16 village out of 8 stewardship? That's like remarkable. Like the number of villages that he took over and, you know, keep is like doubles out of what he can handle. Oh, just okay. Well, they kind of like breaking apart now, so that kind of like that was understandable, but for a brief moment there, that was a remarkable thing. Okay, so it seems that Spear of Idadira might be a little bit more problematic for Naemura to actually solve here. The kingdom is situated in the core of the continent, and Naemura is pretty much now on an island, so it can't exactly project that kind of like power into the core of the continent anymore. Can't exactly, you know, snatch off the capital here. And the territory inside of the continent by Naemura will probably be incorporated into Spear of Idadira. or not, become like yellow form. But what is this? What is this spelling? Yellow nor of Earth. Mouthful. Alright, how much 6 out of 9. Nice. 3 out of 10, 2 out of 8, 6 out of 8, and 4 out of 8. Oh man, look at the lag. Absolutely amazing. It's not a particularly... this is not even a particularly large map. And it's already like lagging this bad. Well, not actually that bad. It's not like the iceberg level of bad. Where each tile, I mean each village have like, what, 300 people? Or something? And like the entire map is like filled with land. Okay, Arrows of Ramias. Cool name. Okay, let me look at the Ses Atari. Kind of missed a chance of naming it the NES Atari town. Yeah, okay. Why Gamera? Why Gamera? Ceylon, Iua, Sias. We have Sias and we have CES. Iona. Ana Ora. Okay, interesting. O Iona. Iona. O Iona. Wonder where the difference is. Okay. And of course, you know, the culture layer is just this. Okay, now I don't understand this, okay? What if the culture tile is like not... Like, why is the culture tile not on the actual town itself and it's just like cluttered into a tiny spot here? And they kind of slowly expand, but like, what does expansion do when they're like only one culture? Does it do nothing? Does it have any effect? I know that with different cultures you have like if a kingdom from one culture conquer a village from a different culture, then it's kind of adding to the stat of like, you know, how much that other village is got like comply with the central command. But like, what is the purpose of, you know, the culture not being the same as a village, or at least like not it's not like not being the same as a village. It's more like a, how do I say this? It's like a empty land. Like, what if like a town is like only empty land? Like, what happened to that? Like, say if I destroy this fireplace, like a bonfire here, because a bonfire is the place where the culture is like, you know, spread out from. What if the bonfire is destroyed in that village? It's like, is that village like cultureless, or it's just gotta like the tile of culture is gotta stay there, but like the bonfire is gotta be built on a different area. I don't know. I do hope that, you know, in the future the game will probably have like a system where, you know, culture that is separated from like town and that split off and then like develop into their own culture. It's like possible. Like, for example, like I say, near Amua, okay, it's like an island culture, right? And then the entire continent got split off into its own thing, and like after like 100 years or like 1,000 years or so, it kind of developed into a different culture. Is that possible? I don't know. I don't think it is like, you know, that simple, because the culture is also it's so tied to like the leveling system, the culture level, the tech tree. So I don't know. Maybe if like, you know, maybe the culture can be like different, and the tech tree is like shuffled or something. Or maybe they will unlock when a culture kind of develops. They unlock like a new, like 5 new levels, and then it's kind of like different culture. It's like kind of branch out or something. I don't know. All right. Well, here is coming closer to the end. Witnessing Nanira instead of Spear of Edadera being the dominant kingdom. So it's kind of like claiming the entire continent for themselves. Meanwhile, Nea Mua still kind of exist. They are on an island, so, you know, much better to defend. Yafunor of Earth has been destroyed. Kingdom of Ernor has appeared, and I don't know, Ernor is honestly not in a good spot. Arrow of Ramias might appreciate their position now because of the relative oh hey, look at that. Great A Adua has appeared. Of course, when a kingdom gets too big, they might not be able to keep their stability and split up. Oh no! This island is now completely cut off from the mainland. So the canyon is like destroyed. And this island too. So yeah, that thing is also kind of like unusable now. Well, I'm just gonna leave the elves to their own device for a little bit. Gonna take a break, but I'm still gonna keep these guys going and see where they end up in. I'm back. What the heck is happening? Hotari Forest? Oh, Great Tahel, okay. Well, Nanira is still pretty much the indomitable power of the continent. But Namura is slowly making their way back into the mainland. Of all of the custom naming stuff, I kind of like the naming of the dwarfs the most. Sorry, elves. But yeah, I think in the custom naming sense, because only dwarf, elf, human, and orc have custom namings, the other modded race only kind of like copied that of the from the original like name generator, so we only rates of 4 of them. The dwarf is sitting at first because their name kind of sounds fantasy dwarf-ish, kind of like what you would hear in like a fantasy novel. The elves take second place because even though they have that kind of like fantasy name, there are also names that are absolutely bonkers, like this many, just almost like meme. Also like Atari, that's an Atari village up here. Says Atari. So, you know, kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. Not really, but you know, it's sometimes it's kind of funny. Accidentally funny. But, you know, the main complaint is when they have the look at this thing. Green E-or. You see that? Apostrophe there? It's like, it gives you the sense of a fantasy elf kind of race where, you know, they have to have an apostrophe for no reason. Or at least, you know, they have the kind of language that have an apostrophe, and then it's kind of like turn into like a kind of silly voice, silly tongue. I don't know. Maybe it's just how their language works, but I feel like it's kind of forcing it a little bit. And then to get to the human, which is the human kingdom names are just unpronounceable at times. I don't know what kind of like name generators that I don't know what kind of like human tongue that is, but you know, the name generator kind of like makes some nonsense kind of name at times. And then you have the orc who is just like, me orc, me name thing like orc and and ah. And that is just like stanky, man. You could at least like name something like like borrow it from like some kind of at least have like multiple syllable in a name, you know. It's not like, it's always like something like oak and then eek. It's like somebody just kind of like barf a name. It's like, oh great chieftain, what would you name our kingdom? I mean, what would you name our land? It's like he's like ah. Very silly, very silly. But that's just like a minor complaint. It's like my nitpicking, you know. It could also be just my, you know, my brain who is like accustomed to like English speaking and English, kind of like accustomed to like the English language. That is not even my native language, but you know. The thing, when you speak English, you just kind of like get really, you just kind of like you get used to the way that, you know, the words are spelled in English, and so when you see the kind of words that are obviously using the Latin alphabet, but like just looks like a mess because it has too much, like it has like too much like a consonant just in a clump, and then you were like, what the heck is this? And the consonants that are not very common in English, like maybe or and like or sk going with each other. It's like, well, how do I spell this? Now I know that the word risk has that kind of spelling, but no, I'm not talking about like R and then like a vowel and then whatever. I'm talking about like, you know, maybe like 3 consonants that are uncommon, just kind of like goes with each other, and like, how do I spell this? That is just because of the, you know, the way the brain is hardwired, not because of the, not because there's actually like a problem or something like that. But yeah, I would definitely. Well, no, not really. I would like to see. I would like to understand how the name generator works, but I'm too freaking. How do I say this? I'm very unfamiliar with how computer coding is. I mean, with how, like, you know, coding is like works. I've never touched like a. I've never touched like a coding program. So I look at it and no, not really. I touched the coding program and I cannot understand it at all. It's like, what is this? What are these? Kind of thing. Not like a, well, maybe a baby coding program, like a you know, a program, a game for kids. Maybe that is understandable, but you know, the proper program to make actual things and stuff that we use in computers every day, that is like magic, man. That's like magic to me. I see it and I'm like, well, how do I chant this freaking spell? You know, it's like an elf, kind of like, it's kind of like looking at an elf who's like chanting a magical spell, and that is how I imagine the coding works. Although I do know it's more or less like a. It's more or less like a modular kind of thing. You have like a line of code that does a certain function, and then you shove it in a program. I know, and just shove it in a thing, and then you know you assemble the code kind of like a puzzle or something. I don't know. That's how I imagine it to be, which is probably not how it works. Lots of my friends have degree in like coding. They learn coding. They learn kind of information technology kind of deal, computer stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I look at that kind of like thing and I'm like, what the heck? I just stick to like normal human language, man. I'm not gonna touch the the computer language nonsense. Although that's just me, man. You do what you do. Alright, enough of a ranting. It's kind of like getting really boring around here. As the two main elven factions, Nemura and Naniera, still fight with each other. Of course, we do have A or Hell over here on the top. But let's not pretend they can compete with the two other factions, especially when they are working together. But man, Nemura kind of like slapping right now, man. Both of these guys still have a lot of space to like expand, so maybe they can kind of share the continent. 10 out of 12 now, and these guys are like also 10 out of 12, so yeah. It is possible to have peace. There we go, it's like a nice split between the two kingdoms. Nemura kind of take over the western half, and Naniera taking over the eastern half of the continent. Interesting. Oh, we already reached 1,000 years. 57. It's gotta be 1,057. It's gotta be Zen. I feel like the dwarf are kind of like one of the worst race in the in the game here. The orcs have their regeneration status. The elves can have both the trait of like weightlessness, which come in benefit in maps like this, and they also have the, you know, living with trees kind of thing. Whereas I don't need woods to actually, they don't need to chop down trees to harvest wood. Kind of like in a Warcraft 3 when, you know, they kind of like send whips into the forest, which is kind of like a problem. I remember back when I played Warcraft 3 and I played the elves, and there were some time when you have to, like, you know, kind of chop down some maps, some custom maps that I made where, you know, I kind of put down like a forest as like a barrier, you know, and I kind of like do a little bit of a cheeky thing here with the elves as the enemies. I set the elves as an enemy, and then I kind of like build my empire up and stuff like that. And then the elves are just kind of like, they cannot pass the. They cannot chop down the barrier. They cannot chop down the woods, so they kind of just got stuck. They just get stuck at like the, you know, their own piece of like land. And like I'm just kind of like chill and develop until I kind of get and until they get to the, you know, the hippogriff, the flying tech, you know. And that's when I kind of like chop down woods and like of that barrier, and I go and attack the elves. Funny. Anyway, it's 10:58 now, and that's the end. So I think Nemura deserved the victory. 912 years old, and these guys have 427 years old. Also doing pretty good, but definitely not as good as Nemura. One of the cool things about this game is that it has a little bit of, you know, play style for everyone. Some people like to build, to like you know, make maps and stuff like that. You can do that. Some people like to see war like stuff, like grand strategy stuff in games. So I kind of like me, so I also have that. And then there's some people who just like to drop bombs on the maps and kind of experiment with the things in game, like this kind of thing. So, you know, and then there are like the people who are like super creative, and they create maps that are kind of specific for a task, like maybe like gladiator fight. I like that kind of thing, where, you know, you set up like two like people or like two unit with like absurd traits, and you can send them together into like a fight. Really, really fun. But I'm not gonna do that kind of thing because that's not my you know, that's not my thing. I don't want to like encroach into that kind of territory because I don't really know how to cast that kind of thing. Okay, well, that is enough ranting. It's more like a talking video, more like with the background than normal. I guess we haven't seen the kings yet, so I'll go ahead and show the kings. Wow, what the frick is his name? Yadu Fadio. Oh my god. Broken Ignizer Zender. Brogan. And the other king is Ophiona. Battle Oblivion. Stinky Apocalypse. Oh, no, Stinky. Mysteria Backyard. Not sure why backyard is one of the word in here. Dude is like smart. He has that double IQ, double digit IQ, 31. Hot damn. Smarter than the average WorldBox citizen. Okay. Well, that's gonna be the end of the video. And I'm gonna end it here. Bye.